guys, welcome to Sopi Studio Umbiamas, conectando Aruba com o mundo via vídeo podcasting. Conectar conosco, compartilhar ideias e histórias para nos inspirar e para conan abrir. Sopi Studio é plataforma de podcast na Aruba. Follow-nos no Facebook, subscribe no YouTube ou na plataforma de podcast preferida. Escute o podcast preferido que hora e onde está. Sopi Studio, powered by Credits, botou ideia? Credits educava e prepara a abo para ser um empresário exitoso. De business plan, guia personal e préstamo para negócio até com 100,000 florin. Bira bom mês donho com Credits. Sopway, passa na Sopway para o sop, salada, wrap ou flatbread e mais fresco. Com 7 localidades rond Aruba, não está cerca de Ibo. Sopway. Swing Masters, organizando events, conferences of weddings, mister de luz, sound, staging, DJ, trussing of flat screen, Swing Masters está claro para ser boa festa um êxito. Swing Masters. E agora, Sopi Studio é plataforma de podcast de Aruba, está apresentar.
Hi, happy Monday. Welcome to Sincerely Carolina. So as you can see, we're in a new studio and I almost don't know how to act or how to move or anyways, so this is new. Welcome. Thank you so much. I'm really happy because it's a new week and also, did you see my new logo? I hope you did. I'm really happy. It's been about 18 months of Sincerely Carolina, so I thought it was a good time to do a little revamp, stay true to my colors and my idea, but do something different. So shout out to my friends who are so patient and helped me finalize this today. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So just a reminder, on my Instagram I posted it and you can like and share it on your stories to participate to win fun giveaways. Yes, giveaways are still here. Also on Learn and Win Wednesday. And today's episode is live. So for those of you who are watching on Facebook, remember that you can ask questions in the comment section and I will see them and ask them. I also want to say that I noticed that some of you ask questions on the YouTube, on the live. It's really hard for me to switch from Facebook to YouTube, so I'm not going to be able to see them. Or maybe I'll check, because now I'm thinking about it. But anyways, so I'm sorry if I don't answer your questions immediately, right away, but I will get back to you. Thank you for tuning in. So without further ado, I want to say thank you to my awesome sponsors, of course to Sopi Studio for allowing me to talk about whatever I want to talk about, but also to my awesome sponsors, Lindy Boutique Proframe, and we have Neutrogena again, yay! And we also have Tropic LA. So without further ado, I have my guests who I know you saw a couple of weeks ago on my post. Welcome, Enrique. Welcome, Zaida.
Hello.
So we're going to talk about inspiring career changes. So if you don't know Enrique or Zaida, that's fine. You will get to know them today. But they both have some awesome stories and they have awesome jobs now. I'm not saying that their jobs before were not awesome. That's not what I said. But I'm saying there was a change, a good change. And hopefully this inspires you to talk to those around you who might be a little bit afraid to have this conversation, who are not necessarily happy with their career choices. Just know that you can make a change. They will talk about it. I'm not saying that it's necessarily easy, but it's possible. So yes, I'm looking at you, Enrique. Hello, how are you?
How are you? I'm great. Happy week. Happy new week.
Thank you. Enrique, tell us a little bit about yourself. Who are you?
I am a graphic designer, first of all, and I have a food blog, which is something that I'm really passionate about. I also create content for the commercial and hospitality industry, and that is my, let's say, day-to-day job.
Yes. But before that, you did something else. So tell me what you did before that or what you thought your career was going to be like.
Well, I went to the University for Chemistry Engineering for 3 years.
Oh, wow.
Before I realized that I was completely miserable.
Okay.
Super unhappy. And I decided to quit without telling my parents.
Oh my gosh. Okay, we're gonna talk about
Well,
that.
there's a lot to unpack, of course.
Yes. Okay, so we're gonna talk about that without telling your parents. Good, good. That's what we're gonna talk about today. So Zaida kotonos Antiki Divo Miss. So some of you may know her. I know her as Juffrouw Everon. Oh my gosh. Anto después mawag ko titupang abin to existence. Anto mita man no impossible. Sa akin no porta Juffrouw Everon. And then it was. Conta-nos um tiki.
Bom, boa tarde. Well, meu nome é Zaida Everon e mane turene conheceu-me, me tava trabalhando de 3 anos na colégio urbano, me conheci hopi muito ano de bocedade, hopi ambição e suddenly den último 2 anos, me último 2 anos entrando no colégio, mas eigenlijk urge de fazer algo mais ou algo outro.
Okay.
E essa é o momento onde eu me agora inspirar para começar uma panaderia.
Uma panaderia?
Sim.
Ok, interesting. Quando nós tive de sei sobre durante a pandemia, mas copy recipes e trapang, eigenlijk não é fácil. I mean, I'm the papa para mim mesmo, right? So, me pergunta tá com a chega na esse, right? Na uma panaderia. Com esse toda decisão.
Well, mas me tata bia hopi e minha wak na hopi caminha com panaderia nota indústria, é lugar artesanal com porta hopi chiquito e com hopi paixão e persona nang panadeiro nanta traga nang produto e tem fila nang larguíssimo ta guarda pa por haya onde pa por comprar nang coisa e dus ma pensa com me tame por fazer algo assim, né? Pero a decisão final a matumele ora como começa a lesa over de tratamento de pão e ma bem topa com a existência de pão sourdough.
Okay.
E como biólogo, como atrás basta tempo de matéria e também me tinha background de científico, ela atrai me mais o mês, ela agarra minha atenção para esta applied microbiology.
Okay.
So ora tá biologist trabajando produto com outro gente por enjoy DJ.
For sure. Então, sei da algo que definitely me para pensar e bagele. Tu diz assim, oh my gosh, me tá wonder se tá sinti mané, tá besta vor uit. So, biologist side, ding so pang. Então, eu me tô contente para ter no cozinha.
Exatamente. Assim, na mesa estava tentando, me tava tem mi lab jornal, me tava tem mi thermometer, e tudo instrumento que me tava tem mister, para me pôr quick mi bactéria na mi yeast na que me tava tem mister.
Para epang, right?
Yes.
Pa sobra
That
minosasi, right?
That one.
I mean, we have a foodie. I mean, we were just talking about this. I love food, but Enrique does this, you know, as part of his job. So I'm gonna say that it is like the bread on the island, and I'm looking at you.
Yes,
Enrique.
indeed, yes. Yes.
So me hobby siguro que a background tem very much added value na success
For sure, see.
Definitely.
Wow.
Sí.
Super. Okay, so Enrique, you mentioned something that was really interesting, and I'm also very interested to talk to Zaida about it as well. As she mentioned, you know, she was a teacher, so she got to see a lot of students, especially in their last years of high school, going into a career that they thought, you know, either you know, called them because of whatever they were good at, or because somebody told them you might make a good living, or it's a secure job, right? Those are like very much the standard things why a lot of us, including myself, make a decision on where to go and what to study. But, you know, you were in that position, and then you didn't feel like telling your parents before quitting. How was that?
Well, first, we come from this generation of the lawyers, the doctors, and the engineers are the successful ones, and the rest is just...
Hobbies, their hobbies.
Yeah, you know, like there's no place for art or music or anything, because that won't make you money, that won't buy you a house, etc. So I got in a university for chemistry engineering, super difficult to get in. And for the first 3 years, it was really challenging. I thought because I liked the lab when I was in high school, I thought, oh, I like labs and I like to wear the coat and all that, so that's it. Turned out I was super like naive about everything. And when I got in and all the math and calculus and physics and all that stuff that I had to learn drove me insane. So, but I was, everything is a challenge, right? So I was pushing through, powering through till I reached a point when I realized that I was not happy. So I had my friends, fantastic friends. My parents were helping me financially, and the only reason for me to be unhappy were the studies, right? And I decided, you know what, I don't know what to do. So I put all my friends together because I'm an only child. So I had no other brothers or, So, and I told them, I cannot keep doing this. And they saw me struggle and suffer so much. It was hit after hit. So they told me, you know what? We see that you like a lot of color, and you like you like the stores, the front,
like
the windows, the displays, and you like all of things designed back then. That was a long time ago, right? So. Okay, I was like, yeah, that's right. So I like color, and when I was going to school, I did great in like art subjects and all that. So, okay, yeah, maybe that for me is a way to try something else like design or art or whatever. So I went to an institute that was a block away from my building in the city I was living in, and I looked into the program of graphic design. It was a private school, so I was like, am I going to do it? But then I decided, yeah, I'm going to do it. I quit the engineering. It was a public university, so I had to wait like a month. Still, there was no turning point. So my parents could not force me to like
oh my gosh,
enter the semester. You know what I mean? So I stayed quiet. It was a summer break. I stayed quiet.
Oh my gosh.
And when I went home for the summer, and I told them that I quit, and there was no turning point. There's nothing you could do. Like I already sent a letter to the dean, like announcing that when you freeze your period, so there's like a year that to be able to come back. So and it was done. It was completely done. And they told me, okay, good, like okay, a little bit of tension and understanding. But they told me, okay, fine, you do whatever you want, but you only have 2 more months of support, financial support.
Wow.
So that's all we did support you with this, the previous one. And then this is it. You only have 2 months. If you don't find a job, you have to come back home to live with us again. And that was the last straw for me. Like I never saw myself going back to live with my parents. And I said, I love them.
Of course. Hey. I know.
And I said, okay. So I grabbed the paper. Back then, there was no websites or agencies or anything. I grabbed the paper and I looked for jobs. And the first one I found was in a studio, like film studio, like processing film cameras and all that stuff. So that little bit got me into the photography field. But I was going to the Institute for Graphic Design, paying for my own tuition. It was very, very difficult. I had no experience, so the salary was not big at all. So it was really, really challenging. But I was loving it, everything. So I discovered that when you like what you do, when you find happiness and you're within your real passion, like there's no power, because the power, you have it, you know what I mean? You have the power to force your own way and to dream. It was a dream for me. Like I was like, this is crazy. I had no idea. I didn't know what to do. I don't have older brothers. I have no guides. I was living alone. The only thing I had were my friends, and for that I'm very grateful. I was very grateful, but it was really, really challenging for me to break away from that, be a successful engineer, narrative, yes. And now I find, like it's very impressive how the creative field has evolved, Because
Yes.
now you have 100,000 careers with crazy names for content creating, copywriting. For everything, you have a study right now.
Yes.
And that is super, super encouraging, I can say, for people that wants to walk different paths.
Of course. And I think, I mean, I don't think that it's harder to have those conversations nowadays because, like you said, there are so many options. But I think that the cultural aspect still does play a role. And, you know, not just cultural as in like Aruba or even, you know, if we talk about like Latin America culture, which is a lot what we have here in Aruba, but just family cultures in itself. So it depends on, you know, what did the parents do in the first place? And did they have any career switches or not? So I can, you know, personally remember that when I chose my courses back in MAVO and then in HAVO, I just chose whatever I was good in. So, you know, I also had like chemistry and biology because I didn't really have to study hard for them. I just understood them. But then, as I developed as a person, I did, you know, discover an affinity for things like history, for things like, you know, sociology and stuff like that. But at that point, if you told me that I, you know, had to learn dates and read stuff and just learn them as they are and not understand, you know, whatever sense that, you know, the logic or whatever, it was hard. But then that meant that at the point when I had to choose a career, I was like, I don't know. Because here are your list of options. And I'm like, I don't think I want to work in a lab. And I don't think I want to work, you know, in this setting or that setting. Yeah, I mean, and then...
etc.
But then you're so young when you have to decide.
Very
and
young.
difficult,
And
yeah.
unequipped.
Exactly.
You don't have the tools. You don't have the knowledge. You barely know how to
And I also want to say...
communicate at least.
Yes, and even then, because I do want to say, because I know my parents listen to my show as well, so I'm pretty sure they're going like, but yeah, we told you so. Because I remember I went to the Netherlands because all my friends were going to the Netherlands, and my parents were like, you're not going to like it. And, you know, and they're like, you aren't even sure on your studies, because I ended up choosing something last minute, because you know how there's like the lottery system for certain schools. The Netherlands has that. And I didn't get into the lottery of something that I wanted or thought I wanted to do. And I just decided on something. And then 4 months after, I called my dad. And I'm like, you need to come pick me up because you were right. And, you know, because at that age, I also don't think that, you know, young people necessarily listen to their parents anyway, because what do you know? You know, you're from a different generation. You don't understand. So it was really hard. And Zaida, I mean, as a teacher, I'm pretty sure you also experienced this. You're a biology teacher, so I remember that back then I went to my math teacher, to my biology teacher, to my, you know, chemistry teacher, and I was like, I want to do something in this because I think, you know, I'm good at it. And they were like, but what do you see yourself doing? They're like, Renee, you're so social. Maybe you should look into something with people. And I was like, yeah, I don't know. So, Zaida, what is that like? You know, as a teacher and but also in your experience.
Those you teenagers, agora que 16, 14 anos.
Fun.
E, yeah, nanta meta passa den trabalho dentro da época e quando tenho que escolher uma carreira. É difícil, porque a mim mesmo mais de 40 anos não sei que carreira, me tauta quer of me loquear. So tem hobby coisas botar leuk e boquear toch check
Try out.
So me consejo na minha por exemplo, tá? Me te punta na Kiko, tá é problema no mundo, como que vai solucionar. Mas sobre aqui para tempo, não tá hasi carreira não quando nem existe ainda.
Correto.
So focus riba algo como que solve, até não bota vai find out. Pero é um difícil sobre falta de informação aqui não e também vamos dizer se tem que vai estudar fogo não por vai na escola e work e make me Wake les na, basta tryout dia of par dia para você aqui que tá. So, hopi di nosso dia nanta bai e ora na iega nana nanta realizar ko no. Toch e nota bom choice. E sei tá choice tá assim a base de etica informação que nanta tem e também provavelmente hopi pressão de parte maior não ko. Mane Enrique bisa bo tinko ta tal carreira sino bonota sucesso.
Correto. E me querer também que maneira para mencionar dia custa mais grande tá que não por vai e passa dia e me estou contente para o que hoje em dia do internet você tem mais acesso das tem hora não tem online days que você pensa tá volg ongeveer com essa vai e tem maior que, por exemplo, financeiramente por afford, não trabalha com vacância com a Yuna, dos anos por mês, lá na check-out é diferente cidade, não. Pero a realidade é que bayu circunstância é nota mais coisa. Ante agora, minha tata tá de Holanda, dus nós trabalha Holanda, hope vacância em zomer, Holanda vacância zomer, tá hobby leuk.
Diferente, se você passou.
Correto, é tá hobby diferente. Ora como vai viver na, mi time romana, mi prima na turcos, pero tur gente na schedule, tur gente na vida, dus op een gegeven moment, pouco a pouco, tá beira mais frio, aguaceiro, gente tá mais para dentro, então ele começa a realizar que eigenlijk like you said, the one thing that you should at least be enjoying, que a school of education, wasn't even it. Então ele começa a sentir, ok, lastimamente, a realidade é que tem hora gente tá tar tiki mais para have that realization com outro. Então, que zeker men hobby viaja, debe, por exemplo.
E tem viaja tá high realization temprano para não
durf.
Então sei tá muito stroba.
Correto. E tem que bisa
de faia, pero
mi hobo hasiele trempan, a mim pensa mi ho, then again, turhende nang processo tá diferente, pero esse tá algo que mi não vai ganhar, mi tá tem medo, vooral pessoa mi por escuta, mi mama mi tata tá bisami, não sabe sabo. Essa aqui não dá pavo, então não sabe sabo, porta mercado mi ho ideia, botin 2 anos, cubo por aqui esparrar bo associates in arts, figure it out. Então, verdade, esse tá algo que funciona mi ho para mim. Para me conhecer gente quando era trabalho, então super ligeiro, não tá figure it out, sabe não gosta, sabe não tá bom assim, então yeah, so it's really hard. One size does not fit all. Para maneira Zaida também, sabe, querer se nós começar a carreira de diferente, não somente de safe job, placa.
Yes, mas agora que carreira tá mais bem uma oportunidade para usar skills na Cubatim. E se você por combine turbo skills nang aiding trabalho, que tá donando bom salário e botim felicidade, botim turcos.
Correto.
There's a misconception of making a lot of money, and I know about people that have had great salaries, but being under this corporation weight, and they are miserable, and they don't have time to enjoy their families, or they don't have time to join their friends for dinner, or to join them at the beach, or do anything because they are completely tired of the week. They have a lot of responsibilities, a lot of people to give reports to. It's super challenging sometimes to keep up. So till what point money is success? Because if you don't get to even enjoy it, so you have the money to buy a bottle of wine, but you don't have the time or energy to drink it even, you know? So I think we are evolving into a more conscious generation of people that knows what to make of life with, you know, the career choices or following passions. I see a lot of friends going into different passions or like exploring or trying to monetize a talent. I see that a lot lately, you know, people like embarking or like side hustling or like trying to improve one of their skills that they already knew they had. So hopefully that we are, and I think we have around a lot of creative people and they don't know it yet. Not everybody is a mathematician or, you know, a contractor, or like the last generation taught us that we were only good for like 5 to 10 jobs. So we will go to accountant, teacher, doctor, this and that. You know what I mean? So I think we are evolving and people are going into different the ways of doing things.
Is catching up because, like you said, now you see more and more schools are offering degrees that, even I look at, school sometimes and I'm like, whoa, like this is a thing. I didn't even, know it's a thing. And then when you actually, go and read about what the courses are and what they're trying to create out of the student, I'm like, this makes sense. And then they also target what you were saying. They target, once you finish this education, you will end up, and then they give specific type of work scenarios, which are based on problem solving and not necessarily like, you will end up a manager at a, organization. What does that mean? So I'm really happy to see that. But Zaida, just 3 años na colegio, como maestra, ba decidi ko que começar a fazer algo na banda, diferente, and then ba decidi ko, no, sa aqui vai estar full time.
Não, ela vai outra maneira.
Ok.
Mi tawta ting época na mi trabalho bio, una que me quera, assim, uso de mais skills na comiting.
Ok.
So sempre mi tawta involve me mesmo em outra atividade na extracurricular.
Ok.
Organizational. E op een gegeven moment, ora como pensa que me pode fazer stap de minha carreira e porta na cera e ora ama decidi que me nota que é de namas.
Ok.
E mas stop de trama, entregar minha carta e mas stop sem sa que eu vai passar.
Wow, ok. Hope you durf.
Essa é uma
Props to you.
Essa é o que a sociedade, mas é que não, a mim não porque da nem é nada mais. Entregar minha carta de retiro, sem comitar outra tinha outro trabalho ou outro plano, me outra tinha de me back of my mind se ideia e gana de fazer panaderia. Então, ora como entregar minha carta, me diz, essa vou me também tem tempo para me sim mais over para trabalhar pão e fazer. So essa é a passa também.
Okay.
E mais alguma calculação, mas como se spar, mas me tem suficiente modo financeiro para me pôr suporte me mesmo para algum luna.
Ok.
E agora depois que a pandemia a começar, agora é parte da panaderia há chance e boost, so de repente tu rende está para dentro e a nós para sair para fora e deliver pão e nós começa a trabalhar com mais lugar, não? Então assim é parte da panaderia há boost mais forte.
Wow. Essential, like it was a essential product.
Yes.
So you were able to deliver it, be on the streets, all of that.
So I started twice a week. We were baking, and suddenly we were baking 5 times a week, and we had 2 delivery guys, and we were delivering bread all over Aruba.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. So Zara, I'm going to just contra. I mean, e of course, Turgena é tique diferente, pero oh my gosh, I mean, esta tuma hopi durf, me te quer coragem de Turgena para poder decidir que uno vai preparar também, me te quer ser também hopi importantes para rena não que ta escuta. Ta papai hopi com minha amiga não também, na sempre ta bisa, no momento que eu vou decidir que eu não quero algo mais, prep, pariluna van tevoren, make sure que eu tenho ruimte financeiro para fazer stap. Pero alsnog, ita queda hopi na momento que eu decidir. E na final do dia, Aruba tá chiquito. Então, se eu pensa, por exemplo, no caso de biólogo, a opção não nota hopi grande. Se você quer em linha, com a conversação nem a bai, não sei se sai a papel ou outra gente rond, of...
Well, sim, me tinha a conversação seguro com minha amiga na minha família não também. Pero me tauta decidi. Me tauta decidido, me saco me nota por aqui da mais. So, não somente para unhappy, pero me chega a 2 momentos de quase burnout. So, para mim sai não tá assim, al fuerte acaba com me não perseguir força me mes para que dar caminho que você saco não tá feliz. So, mas assim, me mencionar, mas me calculação e verdade lo que vamos é mínimo que nós mester para just sostener, nós para pagar minha hipoteca, minha auto. Não está de tanto so me por a survive par de luna e Depois de sair, eu comecei a dar minha Biologist, qual me tá assim sempre. So, me tá mais tempo, me tá minha estudante não, so de sair me tá um extra tio. E agora é parte da panaderia também, começa a cana, so tava tem temporada assim como é começar a cinta e calcular. Eu acho que ok, eu se me mestre chega tanto assim, é luna que it's not gonna happen.
Wow. Oh my gosh, mas é hobby great. Hobby great. Passou para me tá escuta hobby rende, tá papia, então tá pensa, mas eu também portanto não tá passa dor de burnout. E não pensa, pero que me vai fazer depois me não tem durf. Of a situação tá fácil. So e tá verdade, Aruba tá chiquito, dus começar sabão com busca e onda botar wak, que como quer assim, pero a realidade tá que tá possível. Just planning, I guess. Hobby de determinação.
Sim, eu tenho que começar, se eu não recebo, não sei aqui colocar, laga tudo coisa atrás das, para mim é parte de fail, já não tá outra merda mais, mas missa malaga tudo minha segurança na atrás acaba. So me não tá tinando mais se perde. So se a panaderia não há kick on of whatever, me não tá outra tem motivo para
panic or something.
Não.
Okay, great.
Sim.
Então com a reação toda tá, I mean, for a hora que tito para start, me tá hanha com verdade durante a pandemia, pero hopefully na trabalho me tá wak. Essa ko hopefully ela word to mouth spread, everybody loved it. Pero com ito tá ding surrounding the
hobby apart, so a mim mesmo tá outra echt durf die bende me pang não, so me tá para ele, pero para família e close friends. Então, depois, hora que me começa a oferecer para bem, me tá aqui par de ex-colega. E anang, me tá tomando mensagem, e tal coisa, me tem jabiar aqui, so se você não interessar, lá camisa. Então, uma amiga de mim, com minha mensagem, e ela mandou para full solista. Outra gente mais assim mesmo coisa. Então, de repente, eu comecei a ganhar mensagem de tour gente, riba WhatsApp, portanto, depois riba Facebook, so me tem creme chiquito de portanto 20 gente, se ela vira 40, ela vira 100, se ela vira mais e mais. Assim tem comigo me não por keep up mais, so me tem limited capacity, ainda não está para small batches, so ora que tudo coisa acaba já, ela acaba, so nunca logra.
Então, me safra faco, ora que botar roupa excited, tanto no qual o babai pé acaba, você se sentir obsessado. Porque não sei feeling aí.
Sim, tá passa até ainda.
Pero wow, super, hope contento para atender com. É hope inspiring eigenlijk, toch? Para gente escuta que it's okay, eigenlijk. Super.
Now she's like baking, for as far as I know, 100 loaves a day or something like that. It's crazy.
Wow. Yes. Sim, nós temos the best restaurants and hotels of the island, so como client, so nós está super happy, sim, seguro. E proud.
They treat it like an amenity, specialty.
They mention it. Yes. I have seen it. They mention the bread, and then they mention where the bread is from, and I love it.
But you know what? I was gonna add to her success story, that as an outsider, of course. That the key was the quality and the love that she put into it, because the product is a quality product. It's delicious, so, and it's well presented. So everything is thought out, what she did, and it paid off. As a smart person that she is, obviously, I can see that other aspects where like quality control, presentation, all of that went into the mix. And it paid off. Like, everybody knows about it. Like, the logo, or like, at least in the food industry, is highly appreciated. So everybody's fighting about it. Or like, you try to order extra, and they are like, no, it's limited to 2 slices. It's so fun. It's to see that the success story happened like that.
It It is, it is. So now you mentioned a little bit about, right, your knowledge. You explained her product, which is a food, in such a nice way. So I asked my audience, my followers, if they had any questions for both of you. So I'm going to start with you, Enrique. And when I saw this question, I'm like, I'm definitely going to ask that question because I want to know too, how did you get into food specifically? So you are into graphic design and into photography, but I have seen the work you do for like hotels and restaurants and setting up like their foods for photo shoots, right? Which makes their menu and their products look so much more amazing. But you also write about it. How did you get into that?
Oh, wow. Well,
How?
first, I had the opportunity to, I think it was a thing of luck that I was working when all the social media boom happened. So in the agencies and clients, they all needed a Facebook page. They all needed an Instagram account. So at some point, I was not managing because I was another person's job, but creating content for like 20 restaurants at once. Wow, okay. Back in the 2015s or 14s or so, I don't remember well, because everybody wanted to have a presence on social media, and they were getting bookings through it, stuff like that. And I also was creating my own content and taking opportunity of the scenarios that I was to create my own content, to always snap a pic for my own page. And so everything evolved into the growing of my audience, let's say. It wasn't that big, it's not that big, but I was always curating it. Like now it doesn't work like that anymore. But back then I was curating it super with the filters, and the photos were always like sharp, blah, blah, blah. And a magazine contacted me to create content for them because they are based in London. And I was like, okay, sure, I'm in Aruba, I can go to the beach. I mostly go every weekend, or like I walk around palm trees and blue skies all the time, and they were looking for someone that could deliver content in that category for them without sending a person here to create it. So I was like, okay, I took it on and I created something for them, some months, I think. But they were looking for a new voice, for someone that could reach maybe a younger audience or readers, or have another perspective or whatever. So I said, sure, I can write too. I mean, I can get an editor and like write my own words, and that person can like double check it. Sure. So I wrote a guide of Aruba in 2018 for the Destination magazine. And that was my first big commission. I was like all about it, you know, tours and shopping and God knows, like hotels, everything was included. It was a long work. But then I think the food part of the guide was the part that people had more fun reading, I guess. So the magazine saw that maybe there was more engagement to that part, or like, and they asked me to start writing event reviews and restaurant reviews for their clients. So they were building the website, and they said, okay, there's a lot of traffic and events in Aruba, a lot of tastings, and we have restaurants and hotels and all of that. And we need someone that can go there and like write about it, create the content, like send it to us. So I said, sure. I mean, it was free food and it was free wine and like a fancy event that I probably couldn't afford by myself, because that is as another aspect of this. It's very expensive to create this content, most of it. So, okay, I said, sure. So I grabbed a photographer that was working for them at the time. Or I will take the pictures myself, but also I couldn't have my own picture taken. That's something. So, okay. And we were off. We went to all these dinners and events and to write about it and to talk about the bread and the sauce and whatever, but without being so fussy about it. Maybe, you know, I try to create a sophisticated content, but I don't try to be extremely like fussy about the word choice or. And it was going well. It was going well. I went to a lot of events and brunches and dinners and wine pairings and all of that till the pandemic hits. And I saw that decline of requests, and you know, obviously there was no events. And I also felt that there was the climate was not right for me to talk about luxury living. You know, I was going through it myself, and I didn't want to like talk about the latest wine and caviar and like foie gras. Didn't make any sense. So we waited. Everything, you know, went to like a rest for a long time. And then I decided that I wanted to create my own website because I wanted to talk about food outside the magazine clients. So that's what I did. I tried to save up to pay a designer, even though I am a designer myself, and a web developer to create my own website and my logo and all of that. And then I launched it with some of my old content and some new reviews that I was accumulating through my own visits. And, you know, it was just about talking about it. You know, if you like it, you can find some words, sit down and talk passionately about it.
Yeah.
And that's how my foodie blog started.
And we love it. I mean, like you said, you know, the pandemic was really hard because there were, you know, everybody was struggling, some people more than others. But then when it passed, or when you had an opportunity to do something nice, you almost like thought about it. Because then you were like, I'm not just going to go somewhere and not know if it's going to be good, not know if, you know, the service is good, the food is good, the prices are okay or not. So I also feel like we became a little bit more conscious.
Oh, yeah.
And
Of
this
our spending.
yes, so this type of content actually became extra important, because then you're like, oh, I'm gonna see what people are saying about this place and why do they like it so much, or what do they like about it. And then, you know, word of mouth, of course. Aruba is small, so you also get that. So that's pretty interesting. Now I know, so I just need to talk about food and like write about it. I'm just kidding.
No, I see a lot of people going into it, obviously, because food is something that I believe most of us love. And I was already there, you know, everything fell into my lap. Like okay, the magazine, and then okay, I have to, because the magazine won't allow me to review a food truck. You know, they are a luxury magazine. And I wanted to review the X truck or the Chinese restaurant that is more humble, and things, even like single things like bread, like the pan de jamon for Christmas. I was like, I need to talk about this. This is so good. And as many other things that I wasn't allowed to. So I decided, you know what, I need my own platform. Like I need my own way of saying things. But I wanted to make it nice, so I waited more than a year after the reopening. Obviously, I also wanted the tourism industry to recover. So the climate was right to talk about travel and food and events and all of that, because even though we were open, we had a lot of restrictions. People were like only X amount of people per table, so it wasn't quite recovered yet. But now it's fully up and running. It's crazy the amount of people out and about every day, even on Monday, even during the week.
Yep.
If you go walk, it's crazy the amount of people. And the messages I get to ask me about certain things, like, or like price relation. That is something that you were saying, that the relationship price and the product value. Is it worth it, or it's expensive, but is it worth it? Because people are making money again, like full back on their salaries, on their full salaries, but they don't want to spend it like before. Exactly. I see that trend. That's very important. We all took a new view on how we spend the money.
Yes, and I also saw the process of like setting up foods for like commercials and stuff like that. I often feel like, I don't know if other people take the time to look at this stuff, but I always get so amazed when I see the behind the scenes of something. And then I all of a sudden appreciate it so much more. So I remember seeing a shoot that you did with Ali. Hi, Ali. And I think it was for a hotel, but it included like food and like a lifestyle type of, but you know, you helped prepare the food and set it up so that it looked appealing. And I don't think that a lot of people give that some thought, that these are real jobs. People are doing this. This is part of their work in order for the whole experience to be extra special for us. So I do think that it is important that we talk about, you know, these jobs and how you do those behind the scenes, because otherwise we think that they just put some fruits together and they just happen to look nice together.
No, I mean, no. It's just attention to detail. Something that I think I had since I was a young kid. Because you like arts and painting and drawing within the lines, you know, so everything looking nice and neat. And then going into photography, another also art where the detail is important, and a bunch of things, the graphic design and all of that developed into the modern times where the content is just an umbrella, right? Whereas photography and copywriting and design and everything go together, always has been together, but now it's like the content that back then we didn't have that term, right? So now everything is taken into consideration for ad creation or social media creation of content, or hotel or hospitality or whatever, brochures, a bunch of things. But the thing is that then you have to come up with ideas and mood board it and look out for trends and see what's working and what's not, and see what's going to attract people and what's not, and what's right for the world, because we were creating ads when there was a second wave of the virus, or many crazy things to consider it, or like the climate for travelers was not, younger people were coming, older people, X, Y, and Z. So a lot of things to consider. For these things, the attention to detail is the key. Ali, as the ones we are so lucky to know her and work with her, she's very detail also oriented. So also a person that we're all of us a team that care for every little detail, to everything to look perfect, right? So that is how I see that everything starts there. A group of people that are detail oriented and that love their jobs.
Yes, I feel like you can definitely see that. So please keep creating beautiful content so that we feel inspired to go eat really nice foods.
The only bad part is that sometimes I don't have the time to create for myself.
Okay.
Because I create for other people for a living. So when it comes to my own page, I stay a month or more without releasing new content, and that is a struggle for me. I have to admit. Because at the end of the day, you have to edit your own pictures, and you're like, oh no, I don't have the energy.
I can imagine. But thank you. I mean, again, I love the work that you do, so please continue the work that you do. Zaida, a question I had for you, and I think, I don't know, maybe they know you or they know the work that you do, but e pergunto tá se aunque que o Zaida está contente com o cambio de carreira, se Zaida está sentindo que o Zaida está actually trabalhando mais o que antes.
Sí, claro. Bonota solamente trabaja, bonota solamente baker, pero bota handle social media, botinho handle com cliente, accountancy, busca venta, papi com clients, sinta que chef nam, inventa pang ng novo, etc. So, sim, bota trabalha Sopi. Pero a coisa mais grata é satisfação da botar para o mês. E vou marcar assim a maneira que eu quero. Então, isso aí me gusta.
Seguro que sim, me dá que receita.
Sim. We stopped the subscription during the vacation period, but it is planning to come back soon.
So it's like a streaming platform of bread.
I
exactly.
remember that.
I was gonna
right.
ask.
Thank you for asking that. So, exactly. So, Zaida bisa mensahe história ko sa aqui, me que é importante para gente sabe, quando ela diz, ok, me traga great pão, pero tintura costa que trabalha com ele também.
Correcto.
Maneira bem com ideia não inovativo para manter o cliente.
Correcto, manter o cliente contento e não é só isso, é pão que nós trata pão hopi sensitive, é pão vivo. So, meu trabalho principal é monitor a qualidade da sorte para estar consistente, turbiar mais coisas possível e manter a qualidade e sorte para todo o produto que nós está menos mestre presente.
Outra pergunta, e me saco, Zaida está contestar essa aqui vários viajes, pero pessoas que não conhecem a história de Tito Pão, de como chama Tito Pão.
Ok. É número nim, so uma coi é número de mitata Tito.
Ok.
E cambiei a letra com cifra para ela vir um pouco mais moderno. E o slogan tá pão pabo rumang. Eta binidor de tienda que mitata tá tem antes, tá tem shop, dus den dia convenience store, à noite bar. Então eta tem bordje, dat is que aqui Tito tá meeting pang pabo rumang. Então, dordes, esse aí tá agora temos de infância, 6 anos, 7 anos, me tá wak sign. Então, ora como decidi de buy de panaderia, me atuma garage over com uma tal sua tienda.
Wow.
So, me tá, sim, da hora me disse, essa tá honor na dia, so pensei tá Tito.
Wow,
See the impact of design in one's life? That design of that sign impacted her life and stayed on her mind for always.
Yes,
for, like, the rest
and
of
the
time.
emotional connection to it, right?
Correcto, sim.
It's like full circle, so nice.
Sim, agora que a circle tá full round, so esta mesma coisa com evolution de species, ontstaan die soort, wat começa caminho, pero não acaba, so é endless, por de seguir, tem que abo do nele impulse.
Wow, oh my gosh, me dá esse hobby bonito, me dá cara é para ver com malese, so me não lese me não escutele, então me também Tito Pang, paboromang, então me dá full confused, me também ok. Provar de compreender, até depois me também, oh my gosh, eu tô full catchy phrase, a ouvi de compreender. Hobby nice. E maneira Enrique também é algo eigenlijk simpel com a stick.
Sim, correto. Ainda me pode bom claro é pida plywood que verf branco com coral.
Wow. Okay. Kiko tá algo que Zaida tá most proud of den Zaida su arsenal, the amazing bread. Me diz que arbisa, problema Zaida quando está. Mi favorite tá é a yaka pang. A minha outra queira com perfect pang dat existi, perfect filled bread dat existi, te dia como por BC. So me diz, tu quer para turhena sai. Okay.
Well, dank je. Well, para prometer coisas, me tá proud de produto.
Okay.
So eta manima menciona pang vivo. So nós está monitore super bom, nós está dando suficiente tempo para por develop flavors não que nós quer. E outra parte, como está proud de gente, que nós está solamente em mulher, trabalhando de panaderia, uma machina super potente, super grande e potente, e nós como em mulher está empower e nós por e nós mostra e foco, nós traz em melhor pão na Aruba.
Yes, own it. Minuto sai, minuto sai fully woman run.
Nós está três em mulher.
Okay.
So me tem Eliane, que tá lead baker.
Okay.
Me tem Marielle, que tá pastry chef. E nós três, junto comigo, nós está fazendo tudo o que tem que passa com os produtos.
Wow, props to you. E pessoa não conhece Zaida in real life, she's tiny. So me hope seguro que me hope empowering no momento que pode trabalhar com machinery, com enderado, hobby potente.
Correto.
E grande.
Sim.
Passou amigo, wax
Very
stories.
physical.
Yes.
Den história tá mais bem trabalho para o Humber.
Okay.
Pero mais e mais eu vou dar artisan bakery Santa Lanta, com owners Santa Mulher. So, mita hopi proud dia say, e mita purva mantener as long as it goes. Conosca muita mulher, gente mulher não kuta zorpa e mi hopang na Aruba.
Nice. Yes, I love it, and I agree.
She's gonna be the next Nancy Silverstone of Aruba, the baker. Do you know the baker?
Mi não sa sa no, but
I'm going to send you a link where you can read about Nancy Silverstone. She is a chef from Los Angeles, and she had this bakery that also blew up, like in the 80s, I think.
I know Vanessa Kimball from
Okay.
UK. She's the sourdough queen. So, yeah.
Pero ita is sourdough queen di England, pa sobra awar ki sa ita sourdough queen di Aruba.
And the
Duh.
Caribbean.
And the Caribbean, yes.
Manifesting.
I love it. Yes, I love it. I love it. Enrique, what are you most proud of the work that you do and just, the overall switch? I mean, of course, we can hear that you're happy and things just continue to, develop themselves.
Yes.
Basically, I think that's amazing if you can have a career that continues to develop. What are you most proud of at this moment with your
Well,
work?
I think to be of utility to the community or to whoever wants to consume the content that I create, where whenever I hear someone that tells me, I love your blog, or I love that picture, privately even, doesn't have to be a public comment, but they send it to me or like a screenshot or whatever. And they say, I love this, or I also went and I love that you were so right about X, Y, and Z. It's not that I need continuously reaffirmation. It's just that it's just fulfilling because this is work that I put into this, right? So when you hear that props to you, that is for me the proudest moment, right? What else? Whenever I put content out, I mean, it's to, let's say, please the eye, right? Because I don't really care about the crowd, please the crowd. It's more about the eye because I am a designer. So I start with that principle of be pleasing to the aesthetics and to the eye. And I think that is something that I'm very proud of, whenever I get that recognition. And to be invited to a podcast to talk about it with people that I respect, especially. Finally, we met today. We didn't meet each other.
You were like social media friends, but you...
Yes.
That is so nice.
When I went to her place to get the pan de jamón for the review, she wasn't there. I missed her. So that was funny. Almost a year ago. So I hadn't seen her before, and I've been a consumer of her products for a long time, especially in restaurants where it's super famous. People rave about it. So that is something that also is super, super charming, right? And fulfilling.
I absolutely love to be able to have these conversations. Again, like I always say, I love that I'm able to talk about whatever I want to talk about. So, that includes everything and everything in between, but also these type of conversations. I mean, like I already said, I think it's important for people to know of the work of others, and especially if it has an inspiring story or messages that could help someone else who's struggling with decision making, getting out of their shell or whatever. So thank you to both of you for being so gracious and patient.
They have it within themselves.
Yes.
I had to look inward to discover that I had this passion for photography, art, design, etc. And she also knew that she loved, as a child, that comes from.
Yes.
It's in you already.
Yes.
So you have to look within yourself, and you always have it with you. That. Sometimes you get lost. But to find a way back, it's like the way back starts with you, right?
Yes, the final word is always with you.
Yes, and I think that is very important. So Zaida, should we be looking out for something special? What's coming up? I mean, it's almost the end of the year. I know we're only in August, but I'm so excited. I always like this half of the year so much more than the first half. I love everything pumpkin, and I love that. I'm obsessed with Halloween. Obsessed.
With Halloween.
Yes, obsessed.
Halloween is coming up.
Yep.
And
Thanksgiving, yes.
So the harvest season.
Yes.
Not for us really, but we enjoy making things with our mangoes that are coming later this year.
Okay.
We didn't have any mangoes yet, so coming with that flavor. So and pumpkins for the season of Thanksgiving and Halloween probably, and also prepping already for Christmas.
Yes.
We have to maintain the reputation with the best pang de hamon.
Best.
By foodie.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Thank you so much, Zaida, for that. And for everyone, maybe you have tried her bread at a restaurant or not. But please, if she posts that she's going to be somewhere, like in the weekends, especially when she goes to like the little markets and stuff, go early, stand in the line because there's almost always a line. And just try something. And I encourage you to try something you haven't tried before because you will be happy with that. Trust me. Like, yes. Enrique, do you have anything coming up? I know the fun giveaways. So we just want to say something real quick. Okay. So some of you may have noticed that I happened to win one of Enrique's giveaway, and he recorded how this process was taken. Okay. So we just want to make it very clear that it was fair.
It was not rigged.
It was not rigged.
Well, in 2 days, I'm going to be announcing a winner for a $700 dinner. Or it's actually like a rounded price. It's actually more than $700 per 2 people. It's like all the stops, right? Like wine and cocktails and like every detailed special treatment that Chef Urbin Cruz could think of is going to be offered to the winner of this giveaway by Infini. So, I mean, if you don't know about it, Infini is a restaurant of fine dining where people go, and it's only, I think, 12 people per night. And it's a completely chef table experience where you are sitting there and see how everything gets prepared, and they explain everything about it. You don't need to be a connoisseur of any sorts of foods or ingredients or anything. You will know everything that night and about the wine, the origin of things. So it's insanely enriching, and I don't know the words. I don't have the words. It's a very, very amazing experience. So we're partnering. My blog is partnering with him to offer an experience for 2. And I'm gonna be posting on Wednesday the winner of that. So if you want to win, there's still a chance to win. And all you have to do is go on my page, The Foodie Life, The Foodie Life on Instagram. The Foodie, is not foodie with I-E, is food E, right? The food E, so it's Foode. On Instagram, and tag 2 friends, follow the page, follow Infini, and tag 2 friends. You don't have to you have to write a funny comment or anything like that. It's just the easiest way for me to make people participate.
Yes.
And maybe another one is coming, so you know, I'm giving everything time and place for them to shine. The anniversary giveaway was very intensive. It was a lot of prizes, also a bunch of money that I was giving away. Thanks to all the partners and sponsors, obviously. And Carolina also won. So, you know, participate. I mean, it's not a lot of people, so it's not the lotto. You know, so the chances are big. The chances are big to win. Have you been to use your prize?
Not yet.
Not yet.
But it was really nice because I went there with my husband when we just got married. We got it as a gift for our wedding. So we had dinner there last year, the beginning of last year. Oh my gosh, I think that's when we got married.
So you knew about the place and you were participating for.
Yes. And I'm really excited because when I saw that I won, I was like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to have the octopus again.
Yeah.
So
that place price is super nice.
Yes, it is nice. The food was good, so I'm really happy. But I'm also happy to see that you're doing this because, you know, in the world of social media, giveaways are important. So if you do not follow the foodie life or Titupan yet, I do encourage you to do so. And, you know, just look at their content, and you are going to get hungry and want to go out for dinner and get bread. But yes, follow them. Remember, if you don't follow me yet on Instagram, sincerely.carolina, I share content related to the podcast and just a little bit of my lifestyle, whatever. It's my friend Audrey calls it. But yes, so follow me, and then you get to participate on the giveaways of Sincerely Carolina. So on Wednesday, I'm going to have a Learn and Win Wednesday, which is going to be related to this episode. But today, I also posted a fun giveaway about my new logo. Share it so that people see the new logo, and then they get to recognize the podcast with the new logo, and then you can win a fun prize by Proframe. And then next week, with the Learn and Win Wednesday, you can win fun prizes from my other sponsors. So thank you once again to both of you. Thank you to Sopi Mix Studio for making.
This was fun.
Right? Yes. For allowing me to talk about whatever I want to talk about. I absolutely love it. And thank you to my awesome sponsors. Again, Lindy Boutique, Proframe, Neutrogena, and Tropicale. I appreciate y'all, and thanks for tuning in. See you again next week. Bye.
Hey guys, welcome to Sopi Mix Studio Umbiamas, conectando Aruba com o mundo via vídeo podcasting. Conectar conosco, compartilhar ideias e histórias para nos inspirar e para conan abrir. Sopi Mix Studio é plataforma de podcast na Aruba. Follow-nos riba Facebook, subscribe riba YouTube ou riba plataforma de podcast preferido. Escute o podcast preferido que hora e onde cutar. Sopi Mix Studio, powered by Credits, botiu ideia? Credits educava e prepara abo para vir um empresário exitoso. De business plan, guia personal e préstamo para negócio até com 100,000 forinhos. Vira para mês donho com Credits. Sopway. Passa na Sopway para o sop, salada, wrap ou flatbread e mais fresco. Com 7 localidades rond Aruba. Nós está cerca de Ibo. Sopway. Swing Masters. Organizando events, conferences of weddings, Mr. de luz, sound, staging, DJ, trussing of LED screen, Swing Masters está klaar para ser boa fiesta um êxito. Swing Masters. E agora, Sopi